Oh my god, but you guessed it, it is I, Shanti Teg, and coming at you with part 3 of the Ghost Hunter's Guide. Right? Is that what this is called? I don't even know, but I do know it's time for a cheers moment. Yogi tea for all of the systems, for all of the things. Cheers. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. All right, part 3 is so good, so important, so fun. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome. P.S. I'm having a curtain bang moment. The fluffy haystack got a trim. It needed it. So curtain bang, yay. Some like Stevie Nicks vibes a little bit, right? Loving it. Okay. All right, Ghost Hunter's Guide, Part 3. Number 1 on the list is choosing your equipment. Yeah? All right, if you want to even use equipment, all right? So there's, from like EMFs to Alice boxes to the Oculus, to like all of these tools to pendulums, whatever. There's just so much, there's so many tools out there, new, old, all of the things. And my invitation to you is to ask yourself, okay, I'm going to be in a scenario where I'm in a place I've potentially maybe not ever been before, right? So new space. It's potentially going to be in an hour where I typically am sleeping. A lot of this investigations happen at night, sometimes in like the wee hours. So that's going to be another kind of like jolt to the system just because it's something new. Okay. And so then ask yourself, you're in that space. Are you ready to have more like tangible communications with non-physical? Because it's a lot. There's so many videos and so many wonderful people like doing so many entertaining and amazing and wonderful things along these lines. And I would be willing to bet money that every single one of them would be like, dude, it's a whole other story when you're actually in it and the effect that it actually has on you, than watching it, than even planning it or assuming what it might be like. So if you're in a space that's new, it's in the middle of the night, you're potentially alone, the lights are potentially off, and you're hearing voices come out of some equipment, or there's something that's like communicating that's like way more tangible. And by tangible, I mean like, you have the equipment that's reading the stuff, that like there's an exchange happening, like a conversation happening, all right? That might not be for you, or it might be, right? But this is the question. What instrumentation or technology or equipment do I want to bring along that's going to support not only just this like investigation or what I'm wanting to find, right? Support this project, but is it going to support me as a human? Can I hang with this, or do I need to do other things to kind of rev up to that, to prepare for that, to prepare my nervous system, my immune system, like whatever the case is, my psyche, my conscious, my subconscious, like whatever. So that's my invitation to you for this part 3. Number 1 being, what equipment are you going to use, if you're going to use, and really go into like the details of what it takes to actually use that equipment in that particular investigative scenario. All right, because it's different. It's a whole other ball of wax. Yeah. All right. Number 3, choose who you bring with you very wisely. Okay. Whether it's, let's say you have a camera person or a guest or a team. I don't ever suggest doing this stuff alone. So you definitely want to at least have one partner in crime with you, like for real. But you want to choose that person wisely, and you want to choose the people in your team or in your group wisely. And what I mean by that is, number 1, just trust your instincts. And part 1, we were talking about, or like the first segment of this series, I had mentioned, what's the desired outcome? Are you going to leave this space and place better than how it was when you arrived? that's the desire, that's the goal, right? Kind of like this leave no trace, but yet maybe do like, add a benefit. The idea is to have some added benefit by your presence being there. So do these people contribute an added benefit to you, to the space, to whatever? And sometimes you don't know, right? Sometimes you're not going to know, but I would like do your best, like just do some research or do a little interview with the person. Maybe it's a new relationship. Maybe it's a new collab, or whatever the case is. Just do like some interview questions, like, hey, have you ever done this before? Like, what's your typical blah blah blah? Do you have spiritual beliefs? Or and not to say, I mean, maybe it's important to you for these people to have like something specific on board as a spiritual belief, or maybe it's not, and you're gonna learn a lot about yourself in this process too. So, but really be choosy about the people that you bring with you. Just like you would do your research on the investigation location, do your research on the people that you're going to be bringing with you. Okay, before we get to number 3, we're gonna have a cheers moment, because bitch squad, how much do I love you? P.S. so fucking much. All right. How fun is this? It's October. Halloween's coming. The Day of the Dead, the whole fucking jam. The veil is thinning. We just came out of like this hunter's moon last night. Holy cannoli. All right. No joke on that. Did I say new moon, full moon? I meant a full moon. I'm not sure what I said, but it was a super moon, the hunter's full moon, and that is important. Also, this is a segue from like number 2 to number 3. Heyo, and because I love a good segue. I love a good tangent. Cheers. Okay. Moon phase, astrology, astronomy, the numerology, all of those things can contribute to success, intensity, whatever of an investigation. Okay. And last night we just had a hunter's full moon, and it was legit no joke. And depending on how that landed in your own astrology, and astrology is a totally fucking big unpack, and maybe maybe you don't. That's something we'll kind of like maybe like trickle in here and there in these videos, is some astrology stuff. But you either got your ass kicked or you got it handed to you, or both. But that can be in a beautiful way, a beautiful unfolding. Okay, so that little nugget, and we're leading into this this thinning of the veil, and the hunter's moon is kind of like, according to the farmer's almanac and ancient practices and rituals, this was the indication to gather all of the stuff for winter, go hunting, get the food, gather the stuff, whatever preparations were and are necessary to support you in these kind of like darker days. And what I mean by darker days is like, we have less sunlight. Yeah. Not like, oh guys, darker days. I mean, fuck. But literally just like less sunlight, which can be total magic in and of itself. Okay. All right. So we had number 1, we had number 2, and then, okay. Number 3, part 3 is aftercare. What are you gonna do after you're done with your investigation? After you've had whatever connection, whatever communication, whatever findings, whatever experiences, and maybe it's disappointing, right? What are you gonna do afterwards to clean and clear your system, clean and clear your space, clean and clear the psyche? I'm sure you've heard, or maybe you haven't heard of attachments that can 100% be a real thing. It's why I specialize in emotional health, because you might be the most well-versed, most educated person on the planet when it comes to esoterica and paranormal and spirituality and all the things. But if you do not have a practice that supports your spiritual and emotional and yes, mental health, then that leaves an invitation for someone to come hang out, something to come on and hang out. All right. So we've covered Sage and Palo Santo. That is very cleansing. But there are all different types of prayers and rituals and moments that can be had in order to really make sure that you know, like let's say before you leave, you have a moment with yourself and have a moment with your team and make these declarations out loud. I would, especially in this scenario, you know, something to the tune of, it is commanded that any and all fragments of my energy that have been dispersed throughout this process be clean and cleared and called back home. So I am whole and complete, and anything that is not mine that has potentially attached be pulled and released, cleaned and cleared, and called back to wherever it belongs. It is commanded so. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So it is done. Sat nam, amen, fuck yes, blessed be, you know, whatever your jam might be. But to the tune of like, calling my motherfucking shit back home, clean that shit and put it back into place, and anything that might have been like hanging out, we're just gonna remove that, clean it and clear it, and then with the most respect, send it on its way. Yeah? And so that's a declaration that you want to make out loud before you leave the space, and then you can, you know, continue that on the car ride, continue that the next few days. Getting yourself into salt water is very cleansing. If there's an ocean or a body of water, a natural body of water, that is like super, you know, chef's kiss, grounding, like, and what I mean, that's like a term that gets tossed around so lightly. But one of my favorite ways to do that is walking barefoot. I am constantly barefoot. Me and my daughter like legit have hobbit feet because we're always barefoot. But that is what I'm talking about. Get in the grass, get in the dirt with your bare feet, okay? Because it is next level. You will legit feel a difference. Okay, so that kind of concludes this particular portion. There might be a part 4. I don't fucking know, but there might be. But this was part 3. Ta-da! We did it! All right, so I would love to hear how this lands with you, what you took from it, what you didn't, blah, blah, blah. You know, this isn't open season for critique on how I make my videos, because this is my motherfucking channel, and I do what I fucking do, okay? Fish Squad, you know how I fucking do it with a curtain bang, hang. Cheers, Brad Mondo. Hey, cheers, Salmon Colby. Hey, and anybody else who's out there doing my favorite fucking stuff, because I'll tell you what, on YouTube, I have found so many communities that I love so dearly. And like, yeah, do you know what I mean? Because, fuck yeah, that's what it's all about. All right, so much love to you all. I hope this was beneficial and fun and all of the fucking things. I will see you so soon, and just from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here. The channel is growing, and that means legit so much to me. All right, everyone, Sat Nam and blessed be. Fuck yeah.